of the Newlywed Game. Let's get this party started with Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, Paula Ferris, Sarah Haynes, and Jedediah Vila. Now, let's get things started.
To The View. How are you, everybody?
Well, Paula just asked me if my phone was turned off.
Oh, yeah.
She had it
Yesterday it went off.
Yesterday it went off for the first time in my 10 years on television.
And you're so humiliated by that.
I'm humiliated by it. But...
Well, mine went off one day, and mine plays Call Me Maybe.
Joy, it's gone off like 3 times.
Listen, one time, I have to tell you, one time I was in the stirrups at the gyno's office. Stop.
Oh, my gosh,
She was giving me a pap smear, and When the Saints Go Marching In was playing.
Oh, no.
I'm serious. That happened to me. Okay. So
it happens.
The audience is like, what do I do at this moment?
Make sure your phones are turned off. That's the moral of the story.
I'm checking right now.
So here's a hot topic for you. After the Comey hearings, President Trump did a victory lap saying he's completely vindicated. But not anymore. FBI Director Robert Mueller reportedly revealed Trump's under investigation for obstructing justice in the Russian probe.
Yeah.
And he found this out on his birthday, no less. Do you think Mueller sent him a card that said, "Happy birthday, you're under investigation"? So, Sonny, what would they have to do? You're the lawyer here. So what would they have to do to actually charge him with obstruction or prove obstruction?
Well, it's a federal crime, and to prove it, they would have to find that he had the specific intent to impede an investigation or a judicial proceeding. And typically that's really difficult to show intent because that's what's in someone's mind. But in this case, it's a little different because he said to everyone, "Can y'all leave the room?"
Yeah.
And then he said, you know, "Can you see your way?"
Say leave the room?
Leave the room.
If you didn't have some intention to do something
and that makes
naughty.
the case a little bit easier.
So they have to distinguish between, because people are saying, well, the executive has the authority to fire someone at any point, at any time, but they have to now make the case that there was firing with the intent to impede. So if he just fired him, but they can't find intent, there's no charge whatsoever here?
Well, the intent is more related to when he said, I hope you find your way to letting the Flynn investigation go. But so that would certainly be obstruction of justice, and then the firing would be part of that, right? And he already admitted that he fired him because of the Russia investigation.
Both sides in all the coverage, a lot of people are saying either clearly there's absolutely no obstruction, or what I saw was more like, how can this not be illegal? So where do you think the majority lie on this issue right now? Do you think there's a good chance or not much of a chance that he'll be
there certainly is a case for obstruction of justice, but that case would have to go to the Congress, and it's Republican-held Congress. So
and the Congress,
it's unlikely that he'll be impeached.
But the Congress is just one point. The Congress is going to notice that he has 60% disapproval right now, and that's not going to help Trump at all.
Congress doesn't have a great approval rating either. I mean, let's just keep that in mind too. But my question too, and I know that Trump's camp and his lawyers issued a statement. They're furious that the FBI is reportedly leaking this information.
Right, because Mueller didn't come forward.
No, Mueller didn't come forward. And again, this is according to the Washington Post. I mean, that's illegal right there.
Look, I think that we can all agree that leaking is appropriate. Leaking is never appropriate, right? Because leaking is that's leaking generally of classified information, and so that's a problem. But I don't think we can play hide the ball here. The real issue is, did the President of the United States obstruct justice? So people want to talk about the leak and not talk about the crime.
So you brought up an interesting point about approval numbers, though, because you know, I don't know if when you talk about impeachment and if this coming to Congress, I think a lot of Republicans honestly would prefer Mike Pence. I'm not going to lie. I think they would really. So I think that if they're starting to feel that, unfortunately, Donald Trump is an impediment to policy too. They want to get stuff done, and there's so much distraction here.
Well,
but I don't know. I don't know that they'd be so averse to it.
All I know is that Trump has been all over Twitter calling this a witch hunt. Now, where have we heard that before? That's what Nixon basically called people who were investigating during Watergate. Yeah. You know, you guys don't remember. What am I, the oldest person in the room?
I saw the movie, and I've listened to
So
some
this
of
is becoming the Watergate. I mean, there's a similarities. I mean, both Nixon and Trump denied having anything to do with illegal activities. Both Nixon and Trump attacked the news media and called them the enemy. Both referred to the investigations as witch hunts.
Yeah.
A very, very similar sort of thing. They both fired the special investigator. Nixon fired a guy named Archibald Cox.
Special counsel then.
And he's fired Comey. It's very, very similar. And, you know, All the President's Men, the movie, is playing all over the place right now on Catch.
I noticed as this stuff started coming out that was on all the time. I was like, hey, Robert
You know what we're saying? You got to watch that
Just
movie. You got to
watch
watch
that movie to understand how Woodward and Bernstein really took down Nixon. Basically, two reporters from the Washington Post, which is what's happening now.
Got to keep asking. And I just think there's such an appetite right now. You look at how many people watched James Comey testify. It was 20 million
viewers
in daytime.
But I mean, the good thing about that is that people are paying attention, because we have so many people, including comedians, coming out and saying, I wasn't this political before.
Yeah.
Honestly, regardless of which side you fall, participation defines a democracy.
Yeah.
Like the voting, the informing yourself. So
True.
if nothing else, I think everyone can agree. I'm glad people are tuning in for all of this. It's really good.
Oh, everybody's becoming active. People are interested. The ratings are up in every news show, including ours, because basically we can thank you, Donald.
You need to send him some flowers.
Well, they always ask me, say something good about Donald. Thank you, Donald, for making our ratings go up.
The ratings go
Doesn't that feel good?
See,
Not like you mean it, Joy. Come
oh,
on.
I mean it.
Looks very sincere.
See if you get a sense of deja vu watching the ABC News special, Truth and Lies Watergate, which is tonight at 9 o'clock on ABC. They're all over the place about Watergate right now because it's just too juicy.
It's a great opportunity.
Timely.
Yeah, we'll be right back with more Hot Topics.
If you thought this summer was full of red hot topics, well now the view's back, ready to take them all on. The ladies, the politics, the hot topics, serving you View Strong.
Bam, drop the mic.
And the lineup for September.
It's going to be huge.
We're talking Larry David, Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, Terrence Howard, Sofia Vergara, James Franco, Elizabeth Moss, Becky Gyllenhaal, 50 Cent, Kiefer Sutherland, Adam Scott and Craig Robinson. Epic performances by Toby Keith, Little Big Town. Plus, we're firing up a Political View exclusive with the Huckabees. And then get your acts together for this. One Hollywood reunion that's never ever been done before. Are you kidding me? What is it? Well, we can't tell you here, but it could be habit forming.
Can I get an amen?
Come on, there's only one View.
See you Tuesday, September 5th.
We're back this Tuesday on ABC.
Poxvirus shot against shingles.
How does it feel to be the most powerful person in the world?
It feels right.
I don't like your perfect crime. How you laugh when you lie. I don't trust nobody and nobody trusts me.
I have just a few.
Well, you let me qualify it. If I don't qualify it, you'll accuse me of lying. So I need to be correct as best I can.
I do want you to be
and
honest.
I'm not able to be rushed this fast. It makes me nervous.
Oh, don't get your panties in a twist, my goodness. So the former Trump aide Jason Miller said that she was being hysterical, quote unquote.
Oh, my goodness.
Do you think they would ever use the word hysterical against a male senator?
They would never do it. And I know Kamala Harris. I think what's so offensive is she is the most even-keeled, stately person that you will meet. I mean, she, you know, is a former prosecutor, and she was using that experience to kind of cross-examine him, which we don't we want that? Don't we want that?
But you have to let him qualify. You still have to let them finish. He wasn't done speaking.
You don't need to qualify so much when you're telling the truth.
But exactly, I get that too.
Just saying.
But in this setting, and in this climate, the more information, the better. The more information, the better. So I think you can qualify as much as you need to, and especially considering the source.
He was trying to use up the time because each senator doesn't get a lot.
Amount of time, so I think they're trying to bang out of it. But the interesting thing about the word hysterical is it's a word with a female baiting history from hystericus, which was once a common medical diagnosis reserved exclusively for women, sending them uncontrollably insane, sometimes causing they would have to perform a hysterectomy.
Right.
So it's actually just unique to a woman and her uterus.
It's a Greek word, hysteria, I guess, which means uterus, as in grab them by the, like that.
Like that.
Yeah, like that.
But it is a
But
term
it
with a
refers
female
only to
history.
women.
Yeah,
That's why hysterectomy means uterus. Yes.
There's a rush,
Interesting.
though. Like, she doesn't, if you watch her, and I've watched her repeatedly, she doesn't oftentimes let people answer the question. That's a
She
fact.
doesn't
That's
let
her
them
style.
evade the
No,
question.
no. She doesn't let them answer to a point where they're like, can I answer the question? And I just think, look, you need to be really careful, I think, in this country or anywhere when you label everything sexist. She's a big girl. She's smart. She's confident. She's capable. I don't need to feel sorry for her in this situation. And I think when there is real
Calling her
sexism...
hysterical is sexist.
I think that example is the worst. I don't think it was hysterical from any
That's fine, but saying, oh, you know how many headlines I read? Oh, she was interrupted. So what? We all get interrupted at this table all the time.
They don't do
Are we
it to men.
sexist?
They don't do it to men.
They interrupt men
Not
all
on
the
that
time.
committee.
They interrupt men all the time. And I think it's hysteria to always label, there's real racism, there's real sexism, there's all of these isms. There are real examples of that. But when we rush to say this is sexist immediately, all the time, or this is racist, I think we demean those actual instances where it happens.
To call her hysterical.
Okay,
Well,
taking that
is
word
wrong.
out, though,
That's the incident itself, like you said, may not have been, but Jason Miller's choice of words then made it sexist in his description. Because you could say she interrupted someone or she didn't give him a chance to say she was hysterical. I'll show you hysterical.
They don't do it to the men.
I can do that very well.
They don't do it to the men.
He talks too slow. By the time he spits it out, we're on the next movie. I mean, come on.
Do you remember, though?
It's like, not really, all right.
And that's intentional. That is intentional.
Do you guys remember the Bernie Sanders-Hillary Clinton debates where Bernie Sanders was labeled sexist because he was trying to get his points out? I was looking at that and saying there was nothing sexist about it, and too many people are leaping to inject that word sexism into too much commentary.
Well, I'll give you another example where I would agree with you, because Obama, when he was running against Hillary, he got up and gave her the chair or something. I don't know what he did, something like that, and they were calling him sexist.
Right,
and I didn't think it was. I thought it was very gentlemanly what he was doing. And even when he said to her, you're likable enough, I didn't even think he was being mean to her. No. People do twist things around. But we're back to Jason Miller calling her hysterical.
Yeah, hysterical is
And you know
ridiculous.
what? If they think women are hysterical, the men are the ones who are always crying.
John Boehner.
John Boehner doesn't stop crying. Remember him?
I know. I know.
And McConnell was crying when a friend of his retired. Meanwhile, Nancy Pelosi, not a cheer. Hillary Clinton, 11 hours under the scope, you know, for Benghazi. That woman doesn't cry.
She's actually charged with not being emotional enough.
She may not laugh either, though.
I would like to point out a 2015 study conducted by neurologists. Men may very well be more emotional than their female counterparts. The only difference, they hide it better.
And you know what else they hide?
that?
The fact that they're cheating on their wives. We'll be right back. We're going to discuss that.
Cirque du Soleil is Cirque du Soleil way cool. Check out these awesome renditions of the View slide from some of their amazing cast of acrobats all over the world. For a behind-the-scenes look at Cirque du Soleil, you gotta check out these full videos on our YouTube site. Oh, and while you're there, jump on in and learn the moves to the View slide. Then upload your video to our website. Go crazy and have fun with it. Our favorites will be featured right here on The View.
Every time my husband goes out with his friends, he has, you know, friends. And every time he goes out, they go out, they have dinner or they play poker, and he comes home and the first thing I said is, did any of them tell you they're cheating on their wives?
Do you?
I do. I always ask that. And he goes, no, they don't tell me things like that. So now we're reading this thing today about how that it seems to be a fact with men, that they do not tell each other. And yet, the women that I know over the many years on this planet, they jack it up.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll say that you have to keep it to yourself and everything. And the women, I find, this is my experience now, who confide in me, they don't tell their husbands. So they keep it the secret between the women.
Between the girls.
But the men don't say it at all.
Well, I don't think the men, well, I think first and foremost, they're not great with expressing their feelings, but they don't want to be viewed as that guy. And they don't want to put their friend in that
a
particular
man
situation.
cheating, it's not about a lot of feelings.
It's well, no, it's usually about one feeling.
Yeah.
If you know what I
So
mean.
it's not going to take a lot of emoting. It's
But you can't tell anyone, right? You got to take it to the grave with you, because if you tell one person, then you run the risk of someone telling.
Yeah.
Like if I had a secret like that, I wouldn't tell anyone.
A lot of men, I think,
that?
like to show off. Like I have a wife and I have a girlfriend. Like so, I thought men would talk about it.
I think you want to
mean
show
Greg?
off.
That's what Brian said.
Yeah.
Brian told me that today, that his experience is the opposite. That men that he's known over the years have said to him, not friends, people that he's run into.
No one he knows.
And they say, you know, I got this chick on the weekend. I'm just
Brian, really?
To be clear, these are not close friends.
Right,
None
I
of their
said
wives
that.
should call me. Everything's fine.
We just got Brian in a hole.
I explained that they're not close friends of his, but over these years, he's heard it that way.
I think guys, I think sometimes, I think it depends on the guy. If it's a real bad boy, maybe they would brag, but if it's a good guy who fell into something, I think they get embarrassed, and it's almost like I did it, and they want to forget it. They want to pretend like it never existed.
But let me ask you girls, if you were having an affair, hypothetical, would you tell it to a girlfriend?
No.
Start over okay,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
Sarah?
I think I'd have to tell someone because I would feel so guilty that I would have to work through and find someone to help me justify my mistake.
Jed, what about you?
I can't even imagine the situation.
Oh,
I
come on.
I can't. No, I truly
It's a
can't.
game, Jed.
You just all feel bad.
I would be. I'll tell you what would happen. I would do it, and then I would confess to the guy. It would be over in 5 seconds. I'd be like, look what I did. I can't believe. That would be it.
And that
Done.
would be the end of the relationship.
Yes, that would be it.
That would
No, I would not tell my girlfriends. I would tell my girlfriends.
You would? All of them, or just a
absolutely.
select few?
Well, just one girlfriend.
Yeah, but you know what happens? Pillow talk happens then, because you tell your girlfriend, and then your girlfriend tells her husband, and then her husband tells his friend.
But I don't think
your
that
husband.
Whenever in my years on this planet,
you
yet
have
again,
a big
the
imagination.
women that tell their girlfriends do not tell their husbands.
No,
Really?
you know better because they unintentionally leak everything.
I think men brag when they're not in a committed relationship necessarily. But if they've just got a bunch of girls and they're bragging to their guy friends that, listen, look at all these chicks. What is going on?
Are you kidding me?
Did you turn this on? Brian turned it on.
Yes, I did.
Hey,
Okay, I must do this one last topic before we go, because Father's Day is Sunday. But, you know, have you ever wondered how your relationship with your father has affected your relationship with your husband or your boyfriend? Because the studies are showing that your choices very much are based on your relationship with your father.
Well, I definitely know from having my relationship with my father how a man should treat me. I certainly know that.
That's the good news. How about you?
I know that.
My husband and my father are literally the most different people
But do they
from one
look
another.
similar?
Not at all.
Oh.
They don't even. The only thing that they have in common is their loyalty.
All of us kids dated my dad. All of our boyfriends look the same.
Really?
Even my brother's boyfriend.
Yeah.
They're all dark and like really cute.
They're all
How about you, Jed?
None of them look like my dad. In fact, total opposites, but I talked about my dad with almost everything, and now I talk to my man about almost everything. So, like, that open communication, the idea
Oh, so that worked for you.
followed through. Yeah.
My father was tall and thin. Well, we thought he was tall. He's Italian. How tall could he be? but he was skinny, and all my husbands, both of them, have been skinny when I met them and tall-ish. And
When you met them, was that a fat joke at Steve's
they
expense?
kind of, middle-aged.
Put on some happy pounds.
But I think that I'm always attracted to a guy who looks a little like my daddy.
Oh, really?
Yes. And so it was Melania. Look at this picture, okay? Melania Trump and father and Donald.
And
Are you kidding me?
They're similar age.
The same tie also. My goodness.
The ages are similar also, aren't they?
Yes, I believe so.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
No, my
So anybody who thought she only married him for his money, it's not true. She married him for his tie.
It was a daddy.
We'll be right back.
Laverne Cox here, and I can't wait to tell the ladies how I spent Pride Month with Angelina Jolie. Stick around for the deeds.
She is one of the biggest transgender stars and activists in the world, and millions of fans are binge watching her on the new season of Orange is the New Black. Please welcome Laverne Cox.
good to be back. It feels very natural sitting at the table.
That walk was wonderful.
Thank you, I
I
tried.
always love everyone.
But the trick is to make it look like you're not trying.
Yeah.
But I love seeing everyone from the show because they don't wear makeup. So when you see them, they're always, you guys are always dressed way down. So whenever someone comes on here from the cast, you're like, whoa, that's amazing.
Well, the show is set in prison, so it's not so glamorous.
Yeah. I'm glad they went with the honest interpretation of prison. But
Could you imagine? Like, we're all like...
Yeah, well, the lashes while you're in, yeah. But earlier we were talking about Senator Kamala Harris being man-interrupted.
Oh, I like that term.
Make it happen. But what did you make of that?
Well, I was watching the hearings, and I'm kind of a little biased. The senator tweeted me last week.
She did?
Yes, she did. She congratulated me on some stuff. I think she's amazing, and she's an amazing presence. I was watching the hearing. I think it's really interesting that two weeks in a row she was interrupted, and I.
That's right.
None of the dudes were interrupted, first of all. And I think it's important to note that last week she asked one of the most important questions: would you fire this special prosecutor? She asked the really important questions, and she was asking a yes or no question, and they tend to filibuster and to run out the clock. So I love the senator, and I would love it if they could, like, just not interrupt her.
Laverne, so June is Pride Month.
Yes.
Which everybody should know that.
Yes.
And Donald Trump has not mentioned it once. Shocking, I know.
I'm not surprised. I think historically, I have a lot of friends who are a part of that party that he is a part of. I can't even say it. Who are part of the party that he's a part of, who are very pro-LGBTQ rights. Sure. And the previous administration was amazing with LGBTQ rights. So it's not surprising, but we are Americans too. And trans folks and LGBTQ folks are still experiencing a lot of discrimination in this country. And our lives should be acknowledged. And this, if you're going to do it, this would be the month to do it. So I would love it if maybe they would.
He's
but I'm
got
not surprised.
how many more days? Let's give him some time. 15 more days. We'll wait by our Twitter.
He's really busy. Like, he's now under investigation, so. He's got a lot to deal with. He's got a lot to deal with.
It's time-consuming. So you participated in the Pride celebration in Washington, D.C. without actually being there. How'd you do that?
Well, I can be in two places at once because I have a wax figure at Latitude Sews.
Yes! Amazing.
Yes. I sat for like 3 hours for that, and I asked them if they would like make me thinner. They said we can't do that, but I lost a little weight by the time the figure was unveiled. So yes, it's totally surreal having a wax figure, but it was the least painful waxing I've ever experienced.
Laverne, you're a friend to our show, as you know, and you called in when transgender student Gavin Grimm was here, who's just such an incredible person, talking about fighting for his right to use the boys' bathroom at school. Yes. I was shocked to hear that, as well known as you are, you still struggle with the public restroom issue.
Well, as a transgender American, I often find myself, especially in public spaces. I remember recently I was doing a TV show, and I was on television to talk about the bathroom issue, and I was at MSNBC, and I was like, everybody's watching me. I was like, when I used the ladies' room, and I was like, everybody's going to look to see which bathroom I'm going in. And so it's just something, it's an extra thing I find myself thinking about because I'm trans.
Even in New York?
Even in New York. Years ago, before I was famous, I was on a date actually at a popular bar, restaurant, hotel bar in the city, and they carded me when I went into the establishment, and I was going to the ladies' room, and the security guy stops me, and he's like, "Can I see your ID?" And I'm like, "Oh, they asked for my ID out front." He was like, "I need to see your ID again."
To go to the bathroom?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's.
Yeah. And it was one of those moments, and all my ID matches, you know, who I am, but it was definitely a moment when I was reminded that it's not always safe. And this is in New York City, and so trans folks in other parts of the country, I definitely have more anxiety when I'm in other parts of the country about going to the bathroom, which is a shame, and that shouldn't be a thing. And really, if trans people can't access public bathrooms, then we can't really fully participate in public life. So, yeah.
Now, Orange is the New Black is back for its 5th season, which is really exciting. And you play a fan favorite, Sophia Brissett, and that's a transgender woman. How do you feel? Is it a big responsibility representing that community on the show, and how do you sort of tackle that?
I've certainly felt the weight of that responsibility, especially, I mean, it's been 5 years, and so in the beginning, I definitely felt the weight of that a lot more now. I'm just trying to sort of be myself and have fun with it, because this is an incredible opportunity. I mean, 5 years ago, Netflix and chill was not a phrase, right?
Yeah.
So people were not streaming shows the way people are streaming shows now. So we've been part of a sort of television revolution, and then being a trans woman, there's another revolution going on as well in the media. And so I'm just trying to have fun with it, and there certainly is a responsibility, and I try to speak up and speak out whenever I can, but I'm also trying to have fun and enjoy it, and because it's not going to last forever. So yeah, I'm trying to have fun.
Good.
And we want to talk a little bit more about season 5. Earplug, Sarah, because I don't know if you're totally up.
I'm not finished.
Okay,
I
so
know, I'm not
earplug.
finished yet.
Okay, so
Have you guys started watching season 5?
okay, if you haven't started watching season 5, earmuffs, everybody. But you guys pick up where you left off last season, where Samira Wiley's character is killed by a prison guard. And there's Sarah, I said don't.
I know.
Don't
I already
listen.
know the news.
Okay.
Yes.
She was killed by a prison guard.
That was last
and the
year,
inmates
girl,
have
so.
taken control. Exactly. But the whole season 5, takes place over a 3-day period.
Yes.
When you're reading this script, are you thinking, how did you feel about it when you first heard?
I thought it was a brilliant storytelling device. Gingy Cohen, our creator, I think devised this to keep the audience as well as the actors in this space of mourning. I think so often when people are killed, and particularly people of color are killed by the police, we have a moment of outcry and then we sort of move on. And Gingy didn't want us to move on from this death. She wanted us to see how the inmates of Litchfield are dealing with mourning, with resisting. There's a prison riot, and really living and marinating in that for 13 episodes. And we managed to make you laugh while we're also managing to make you cry in the process. And I'm really proud to be a part of a show that is still really culturally relevant, I think. And really it's about telling human stories. And through doing that, it's quite political.
Yeah, one of your castmates said, bring your popcorn and your tissues. We do have a clip, and this is of your character trying to locate her friend, and it's not going well. Take a look.
Hey, is it true the ladies took over up there?
Something like that. Hey, were you still in the box when they brought a nun in? Maybe you heard her. She's a talker.
I didn't catch her on the way in, but I saw her on the way out.
Out?
Yeah, she got pneumonia, wasn't doing too good, so they gave her a CR. Compassionate release. Should all be so lucky.
Well, we want to thank you so much for being here. Big thanks to the fabulous Laverne Cox. Orange is the New Black is streaming on Netflix now. Go. We'll be right back.
It's a brand new...
Live from Studio 7 in New York City, it's the Newlywed Game Parent Edition. Let's meet our contestants. Our first couple has been married for 18 years. They have 2 kids, ages 11 and 14. And when it comes to parenting, this is one mom who knows how to lay down the law. Please welcome Sonny and Manny. Couple number 2 has been married for 19 years, and they have 3 kids, ages 9, 13, and believe it or not, 21. They say when it comes to parenting, life's a beach. Please welcome professional volleyball player Gabrielle Reese and big wave surfer Laird Hamilton. Couple number 3 had their first date when their mom set them up for the senior prom, and that date went so well, they didn't see each other for another 18 years. But sparks flew on their second meeting. They've been hitched for 16 years. They have a 12 and a 13-year-old, and their parenting strategy is to agree to disagree on everything. Please welcome Jeff and Lisa Lewis.
And a big welcome to your host, the lovely and talented game show superstar, the one, the only, Mark Summers.
How are you, everybody? Thank you so much. Thank you, audience. All right. Thank you, Sarah. Now, before the show, we asked each couple to give their prediction on how they or their spouse will answer the questions that we're about to ask. And the best part, each couple is playing for a grand prize, all right?
But before we get started, we want to welcome our special guests, Gabby Reese and Laird Hamilton. Gabby, you're a professional volleyball player, which we all knew. And Laird, you're a big wave surfer. So how do you guys balance your busy lifestyle and also raising strong, confident kids?
Yeah, I mean, I got all girls, so I just try to love on them and make them courageous. That's my job.
And for me as the mom, you know, you're always the one sort of making sure that they're healthy and they're doing well, and even, you know, making sure their confidence is up. And so we actually partnered with the Invisalign brand with our middle daughter, Reese. We were researching her teeth and dentistry. You know, a lot of parents out there, when you have teenagers, you're going to be dealing with that. Yep. And we just discovered how easy it was to use. She was excited about it, and it was just, it made a lot of sense. If you have an active life, and it's just something that I didn't know existed, and when I found out, we jumped right on it. So
well, your smiles aren't too shabby. Are you wearing them right now?
Well, actually, after we, and that's the other thing, is you can't even see it.
Yeah. No.
After we did the research, you know, you don't realize how much health, Laird and I are really into health, is through your mouth and through your teeth. And so you wouldn't see me wearing braces at this age in my life, but when I realized what I could do with my smile, and for Laird, we both are doing it with her.
Let's just go straight to playing the Muley-White game, Carrot Edition. Let's do it, Mark.
Here we go. There we go for 5 points. When it comes to parenting, what do you disagree on the most? For 5 points, what do you disagree on the most? Okay, so this is you. We're going to start with you, Sonny. What
You got this, Sonny.
Okay.
For 5 points, the answer is, from you, discipline. Discipline. Now, if you say discipline, Manny, you'll get 5 points. What was your answer? Gifts for the kids. Does she buy too many gifts for the kids?
No. Too many. Christmas is a full-time job.
Absolutely.
I like to spoil.
No points there.
I like to spoil.
We're going to go to Gabby. What's your answer?
Technology.
Technology, really?
Yeah. If Laird had his druthers, he'd just take the truck and ride over every pad, phone, pod that existed, and we're just trying to figure out.
Unplug the world.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Laird? Discipline. Really?
Sonny and you would have a really good future.
Do you see there?
Yeah, maybe the cards got mixed up. I don't know. All right, no points there. We're going to go over to Lisa. What was your answer?
Sonny, Laird, and Lisa.
Discipline. Interesting.
Wow.
And it's up to you, Jeff. Did we match? Did we get some points on the board?
Come on, prom date. Let's do this.
Yes, 5 points. Congratulations. Look at that. All right, you take a commanding lead here with 5 points. This one's for 10. Husbands, what TV mom best describes your wife? What TV mom best describes your wife? We're going to start with Laird. What did you say?
Wait, I just want to say one thing.
This is going to be good already.
Laird doesn't even watch TV.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I can't wait to hear what this is like.
This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what this answer is. Lord Evans from Good Times.
Oh,
from Good Times. Okay.
That's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Oh, yeah. Laird, I don't want to say that's an old answer.
Weren't even born.
That was the last time I watched TV, actually.
Good one, because I thought she was funny, and I thought Laird would remember who she was.
Roseanne, okay. Okay, sounds good. All right, no points there. We're going to go first to Jeff.
Claire Dunphy.
Claire Dunphy.
Claire
From Modern Family.
Yeah, that's a good one. She's gorgeous. Thank you.
Lisa, what'd you say?
Here we go.
That's insane.
That's cute.
Okay, you guys take a commanding lead. Okay, we're going to go
kicking our
to...
butts.
Well, what's that?
They're
Manny.
kicking our butts.
All right. Response. Claire Huxtable.
Oh!
It's all up to you. Claire. All right. You have 15 points. It's anybody's game because this question is worth 20 points. Here you go. If your kids caught you both dancing in public, which one of you would they be most embarrassed by? Okay, 20 points. Anything could happen. We are going to start actually with Gabby.
I'm going to say me.
You. Okay, Laird, would you agree or do you think it's you? You didn't say it's one. Okay. And you guys have the lead right now.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go over here to Sonny and Manny. Sonny, who is the bad move person here, according to the kids? Dad.
Oh, look at
Manny, is that a true statement? For 20 points?
That's what the kids would think.
Yes! Fantastic. All right, you took the lead. It all comes down to Jeff and Lisa. If you get this correct, you're going to win by 5. Lisa, who is the bad dance move person? Show me.
It even has a name. It's called the Daddy Dance. I went with Dad.
And you say it's Dad. Jeff, if you say Dad, you win the game. Show us Dad. Yeah! They did it! Congratulations to our winners, Lisa and Jeff. You two are the winners of 2 Invisalign treatments, one for Lisa and one for their 13-year-old daughter. You two can do the treatment together.
And our thanks to our sponsor, Invisalign, and of course to Gabby Reese and Laird Hamilton, Mark Summers, and we will be right back.
Look who's sharing the love.
I love you guys. I love the discussion.
I have so much respect for these ladies.
It's so amazing to meet you, Ms. Goldberg. It's so cool.
Everyone's buzzing about The View. Even the critics can't get enough. Killing it in it.
Welcome back, everybody. Father's Day is this Sunday, so give Dad the gift of a quiet house for just a few hours and take the kids to see Cars 3, which opens everywhere today. My husband is asking for one thing on Father's Day, peace and quiet to be away from me and the children. So that's what he's going to get.
That's a good gift.
I understand. What are you doing for Father's Day, you girls? We have a couple of seconds.
Eating.
Eating.
I always send my husband and my father-in-law to get a massage, and then I make brunch for all the women, and then the dads come and join us.
Oh, boy. That's a whole McGilla. How about you?
He's Italian. He likes to eat Italian food, but he's a simple guy. Simple needs, some good pasta, and he's good to go. So.
All righty. Well, this has been fun, so let's just say have a great day, everyone, and take a little time to enjoy The View.